You're listening to I'm Telling You. You're listening to I'm Telling You.
Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you.
As always, your antics-filled hosts of joy and happiness, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Quickly clack of missjd.
That's it? Oh wow. I was expecting more from you. You let me down on that one. If you want to tell me if she also let us down.
Take?
No, we don't have time for that.
Oh.
We've gone too far.
We don't have time.
We gotta go. It's just gone too far. We can't come back. We gotta just go.
To go to Home Depot. I don't know.
If you want us
Got a real busy day
to
tomorrow.
keep moving on, you should email us at ITY@directionsofmusic.org or individually.
Yeah, if you just want to hit me up, Gemini at directionsofmusic.org. That's GEMINI.
Dude, you came in late on the robot.
I know.
What is going on? This is like a weird Twilight Zone
All right, your
episode.
turn.
She's like
Philly
somewhat
D,
lackluster.
PHILLYD.
And now you just did
Yep.
What is going on here? This is like Bizarro World. What is happening?
I don't know. It's just a special day, I guess.
I mean, we have been talking a lot about like time travel and what that would do. Did I just have like a Marty McFly moment, or was that like more like old school?
I like the conversation about what if you got the opportunity or choose to live forever. The vampire live forever song. The whole theme we got on.
Oh, the paradox of that, of like, would you want to outlive all of your friends over and over and over again?
I mean, that's not that you can't die. You can still die, but they have to be pretty severe.
Well, right. Well, yeah, I mean, in a vampire's case, from what we're trying to understand, like the true sense. Because, I mean, I think a stake to anything's heart is going to kill it. But perhaps.
But you get all the other powers too.
Well, so there, I mean, I think there's the.
Well, it depends. What powers?
Well, no,
Bram
'cause there's-
Stoker had a whole different thing. You could turn into a bat, a puff of smoke. Or,
Well, yeah, because that was also like the Jeffrey
really
Dahmer
quickly.
thing or whatever, or what was the one in the wilderness where they ate one another because you were supposedly ingesting the other's soul and energy and like, yeah, there's plenty of. I mean, that's what cannibalism was back in the day. Is if you, as you ate your enemy, you consume their soul and stuff. Like, right? I mean, am I wrong? Did I just go too far? Is that what happened? I'm sorry.
no, I mean, I don't know.
Well, shut up.
I don't know where the folklore of vampires really originates from necessarily. I think it was, for a long time, it was kind of like seen as like Anne Rice is kind of like a romance novel.
Right.
You know, when you read it, it's there's some really wicked, scary stuff going on in it, but it's portrayed from the eyes of the vampire. So, you know, it's but it's an interesting question anyway. I thought it was funny to toy around with that. Like, what if you had the choice? Like, if you were given the choice, it's like, no, I'm not just going to take it from you. You have to choose. You know, would you want to live forever knowing that you would be a blight on humanity and you'd never be able to see the sun and like all those things you'd have to give up? Or even if it wasn't that, what if it was just, I could make you live forever? Like, you'd still be human, you'd still be normal. Like, would you want that? Because I think
The folklore actually goes back to Mesopotamian, Hebrew, and ancient Greek and Roman times.
and was there a strong connection to cannibalism of some sort and the drinking of human blood? And I thought at one point it was actually, there is a disease that makes you
Well, so this is where I think the
so low in iron that the only thing you could do to replenish it quickly is to drink the blood of some kind of an animal.
which is why I like the idea of the Bram Stoker Bam Margera, Bram Stoker's idea where it was he had to drink of your blood and then you had to drink of his blood, so it was like your blood had to get mixed in with his DNA first before you could drink of his, so that your blood or your body would accept it because it had like that DNA. It's like, oh no, it looks like. So to me, that almost like made sense.
No, he's with me.
Yeah, so it was like it was like an infected virus of some sort, but now it's masked well enough where your body won't reject it.
Well, I mean, that's why I wonder. Like, a lot of people say that the whole thing was just folklore, and that there was never really anything behind it other than it's kind of like one of those strange like fetish things. Like it gets people really excited. I mean, to this day, people love reading about vampires. There's all kinds of vampire novels out there.
Well, there was the one idea where it was based on like Vlad the Impaler or something, and that's where I think you get that idea where he had consumed so much literal blood of his enemies that it'd be like that's where you get into the iron deficiency because your body becomes used to it.
Well, was that really what was going on? Because there's a sensitivity to light and all kinds of other things that go with that.
Well, right. Well,
they say that there is like I don't know what maybe you could find that. There actually is an illness, and I don't know what the name of it is, that mimics the symptoms of vampirism. Like,
I remember
it doesn't mean your skin's going to burn, but like you could quite literally get a sunburn within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you stayed out. So there are people like that.
Yeah, you're very...
And they're very iron deficient and...
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen a couple specials on that. I recall that.
But I think as the story goes, wasn't it he disavowed God or made a pact?
Well, I think that was a part. To me, that's where it becomes more of that's like becomes more of the folklore. I wouldn't even say Hollywood. That like whisper down the lane as the story gets told because it wasn't like written down and stuff.
I'm curious where that originates from, though. I mean, you said Mesopotamia or whatever.
Well, that's the thing is
it literally goes through all of them.
There's a few. Yeah. There's a few different avenues in which it's a tale of time.
Babylon.
Yeah, because there's Russian, German, there's folklore like all over the world about these.
Yeah, just like Santa Claus.
French. I mean, there's all, in France.
French fry.
Maybe even French
water.
French Canada.
French dressing.
All that was affected. It was terrible. It was a blight on humanity, and it still continues this day. I don't know.
What is it?
Vampires, man.
Vampires. It's like, real. They're out there. Yeah.
Where does this all come from? Like, why has it become so prevalent?
Well, and like she was saying, there's many stories that have been told. There's many different places that these and that's why I guess the debate of adding validity to these connections, because it's like, all right, Occam's razor almost at that point where it's like, come on, man, there's enough correlation and coincidences where it's like, isn't this more possible now at this point?
Was that thing though, like with the originals, like Dracula and like the original storylines and stuff, wasn't he always like a pimp? I mean, he had this power over women, like this magical force or something. Like there was always that underlying thing. Which makes me think like a lot of this sprouted up from some kind of a romance novella kind of.
If you think about it,
cosplay.
But if you think about it, women are typically more empathic, especially over men because of like the hormones, I guess, or whatever. Like you're more prone to ignore the external in a sense, whereas like women are very willing to accept
salty, sweet thing, like that a little bit of violence with the romance at the same time?
So I would say that if anything, it's more feasible to have a telekinetic or telepathic connection where you could literally feel what he's like. He could look at you and you could just be like, oh, like you just know what he's thinking.
So you think that's what it?
So I think there's a literal ability for that to be plausible in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, because here's the thing that I think about. You're just saying
Dracula just happened to be a charming guy. That's all.
Well, it could have been, but I also think that he was very good at radiating his energy, and women could pick up on that, especially if it was of a
sexual energy, is that what
physical nature, an intimate kind. I don't know.
And to answer your question on the medical illnesses that mimic vampirism, 3 popped up for different reasons. So rabies or hydrophobia, it makes people the desire to attack other people.
Yeah, that's not the one we were talking about.
And bite them. And then the second one is...
Bite them. No, that's definitely not the one.
No, it was actually something with a...
porphyria, which they call... it's sometimes referred to as vampire disease.
Yeah.
And it's a sensitivity to sunlight with extreme... can lead to facial disfigurement, black hair, or skin growth. And then there's a third one.
There's something
called
with
Renfield syndrome, and it's called clinical vampirism. It's the obsession with drinking blood.
No, the middle one is the one we were. I think. At
Yeah,
least
it wasn't
that's the
an
one
obsession. I think it was more like a lack of something, like I was saying, like a mineral or a heavy metal deficiency.
Are you talking about from like an 1860s medical journal? Is this where the story comes from? Is that where you're referencing?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what was the date? I think it was like the 1400s or something that was written about the story of, like, when was the story of Dracula? Well, it must go, Mesopotamia is even older than that. So, I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I wonder is, like, where did this actually originate from?
Well,
only one of them mentioned eating flesh, but it said that the folklorists went to either drinking blood or eating flesh they would consider a vampire. So either or.
And what if vampires, maybe they're just aliens?
That's a whole nother concept,
That's a whole
bro.
other thing. What if they're just aliens?
Well,
we don't comprehend that. Like, they can't really turn us.
See, I think this is why The Matrix was so well received, because it was like kind of like the chicken of conspiracy theories, where it doesn't quite taste like anything else. It tastes like everything. So it fit all ideas.
It came at a time when there was already enough of that out there.
Well, because think about it.
Mindset that, it was very well accepted.
It explained vampires. It explained werewolves. It explained ghosts. Like, it explained so many different things.
It was like a program that went rogue and started writing itself.
Basically, and like especially in the second one or whatever, where they meet the Frenchman's bodyguards.
You love that guy, don't you?
The Merovingian.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He says some like weird ass shit in French, and then he's like, it's like wiping my ass, and it's just like, all right, bro, I get you.
So the bodyguard.
But yeah, like because his wife or whatever takes them back through the one way, and it's like they come across the old school bodyguards. And then she makes the references. It's like, how many people often carry silver bullets in their gun? And it's just like, uh-oh. So a silver bullet in that world explains why it can be used to kill, because that's the only weakness to that program is, the molecular structure of whatever silver is as it's written. So it's like.
But is it really any different than what,
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's so well received, because it really helps to explain vampirism, like werewolves, like ghosts, like everything. There really aren't any other singular ideas that allows all of those things to come true. Like,
it wasn't like you answered all of them in one fell swoop, but in a way you did.
In a sense, it offers the ability for it, whereas in standard day understandings, there really isn't that one congruent idea that allows all of these to exist, other than this is an alternate perception or reality where werewolves and vampires and ghosts exist, where it's just like, oh no, that's just comedy. No, I saw a ghost last night, in fact. Oh yeah, we had Thomas Edison over for dinner last night. Like, what? Like, yeah, it's just the world they live in.
I guess
there's just like zombies around.
Depends on what kind of friends you know. I don't know.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So there's different allowances for that kind of a perception or reality. I feel The Matrix is the one that really just grabbed everything. It was just like, here you go. You want to understand? Yeah. Simulation, So
The Matrix was nice too, because, and I know I find myself saying this or thinking this at least a lot about movies that have come out now that CGI is much more of a motivational factor in making a movie. Like, well, we don't have to be on set for everything. We can just create this. That the realism wasn't always there, and that to pour all this into it, you're taking away from the dialogue, where I thought The Matrix had all of that and had some actually leaps and bounds in cinematography. As a matter of fact, like the whole moving bullet thing.
Oh, yeah.
That there was that whole nuance there, but at the same time, the storyline was very strong. And the dialogue was just enough. Like, it was very, very craftily written. Like, there wasn't a word out of place in that entire dialogue. Like, through the entire...
Yeah, I would put the Wachowski... I would... they definitely... Very much like John Hughes or Kevin Smith. Like, it's,
but I don't see any of the actors in that movie riffing. I think all of that was very, very intentional.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, the work pre and post production on that must have been through the roof. But absolutely, I mean, top dog of a movie, definitely in the top 10 list.
Yeah, I know. I really, again, from a
Conceptually, cinematically, special effects. I mean,
the way it was scored. I mean, yeah, no, it was definitely a
cast was decent. I mean,
for them to make that as their debut, it was like a holy crap. Like somebody took a chance and they went, and it was just like, this is the next big thing. And look at it, man.
I mean, that's
like
what you say,
four
like,
of them now.
Like, oh, are the other ones as good?
Is there four? Like, did the fourth one ever come out?
I can never say the other ones are as good, only because none of them would have been possible without that first one. And the first one, like you said, was the initial like.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember
the first one where you just like.
Yeah, for real. I remember coming out of the theater. It was me and like
your heart's on your hands on your chest, like when you're walking out, like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, no, there was like 5 or 6 of us. Like, it was a group of us. You know, it was like a big double, triple date or something. I don't know. There was a bunch of us, and I recall all of us as we're walking out to our cars, kind of like. I mean, you could see each one of us as we're having the conversation of, hey, what do you think about the movie in general? Because, as you come out of your movie, what do you think? Oh, I thought it was great. Especially you start to, take pieces and parts of it.
Yeah.
And, critique it in a sense. But you could see pretty much each and every single one of us having this underlying look in our eyes of just like, holy shit, what if it's real? So we're like all crapping ourselves, but we're masking it with the idea of just like, I mean, the one scene where they were in the, like you're talking about, like the bullet where they float around and how they had to film that and all of those things, because you had never seen anything like that. So even physical representation, like literal in front of your eyes, what it was that they recorded was something that was, holy crap, how did they do that?
Right.
This is when CGI was just becoming, so you could always tell back then if it was. So the fact that they could do that was just like, holy crap, they actually, like, how did they do that? But, and legit, again, the idea of if this is an actual reality, are they trying to tell us? Like, did they break into the program and show us this movie to like wake us all up about
kind of
it?
like the modern day never ending story.
Right. Yeah, I remember we talked about that before. Yeah.
It's kind of like that because it's you always feel like you can look over your shoulder and maybe you're within the pages of someone else's story. Like, isn't that weird? So you're the Atreyu of someone else's story.
Right.
Just like we're watching a kid who's reading a book about Atreyu, who's a hero, who's learning about becoming himself through reflection and trial and losing a friend and all the things that he goes through. It's like, this is just, and like it's turtles all the way down. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, what's the Will Ferrell movie I always talk about? Oh, I always forget the name of it. Where he's living his life, yet there's the author who's writing the story. And so as he's like brushing his teeth, yeah, it's about the watch, something about time. Oh God. It's him and Maggie Gyllenhaal, Dustin Hoffman's in it, Queen Latifah, Emma Thompson. But he's like brushing his teeth and she's explaining what he's doing.
Yes.
And he goes to
and he starts to actually hear her.
Oh yeah,
her dialogue.
She's reading book on tape, so she's reading it as she's typing it out. Come to find out, but yeah, it's to know you're a part of something that.
Well, yeah, because as she says it and he hears it, it comes true.
He's like,
doing what the hell's going on?
Well, because he's explaining to his one friend about it where he's like, yeah, no, it's like not only does she say exactly what I'm doing, but she articulates it in a way that's way more intelligent to me and sounds really lovely. So it's like not only
Stranger
is
Than Fiction?
yeah, Stranger Than Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, it's a great one.
Conceptually. And like, there's a great example. Like, there's a movie that like, okay, we had the technology to do special effects, but like, look what a cool, funny movie that you can make. The situationally, just
On
to be
premise.
able to watch it just on premise alone.
Yeah, right.
That you don't need any special effects, you don't need any fancy equipment. It's
I think that's what definitely,
literally just telling a story.
yeah, and it's a great what if. Because, I mean, especially being open-minded enough to the idea of like multiverses and all that kind of stuff, it's just like, holy crap, but what if? So, yeah.
I mean, that would be my hard, like if I had to be a screenwriter and I had to come up with new concepts and ideas. It's like,
Yeah, that's a hell of a one to do it.
well, they're really, it's
Yeah, how many original
really hard
ideas
to
are there
right,
nowadays?
it's hard to introduce nuance in a world that's been saturated with the retelling of stories that, my goodness,
Have been told for millennia.
I mean, half the time what you're hearing is Grimm's fairy tales or
Right.
I mean, these things go back so far. Or like you said, Mesopotamian folklore. Who knows
Yeah.
I
how
have
far
facts
back?
now for
Oh yeah,
So
on vampirism.
where it goes from where it goes from Dracula, that character was loosely based on Vladimir the Impaler
Vlad the Impaler.
because he was a bloodthirsty prince born in Transylvania around the same time, 1431. So with the medical issue, the porphyria, it was a blood disorder that was inherited, and it was prevalent with the nobles and the royalty in Eastern Europe. And it's when your body produces less hemo from hemoglobin, so the protein in the red blood cell. So this disorder led to the myth of vampirism or the vampire myth, because sensitivity to sunlight can lead to the facial disfigurement, the blackened skin, and the hair growth. And it's, like they said, it's an extreme sensitivity to sunlight.
See,
there's a few, it explains all of them. So the fangs, it says it's the facial disfigurement from the repeated attacks of the disease, which causes the gums to recede, exposing the teeth, which will make them look like fangs. The blood drinking, it says because the urine of the person is dark red, so folklore surmised that it was because of the drinking of the blood.
Oh, yeah, but that's not what that is.
But
it's like a serious
but it was,
medical disorder. If you've got actual red blood cells coming out there, that's bad.
But then it says the aversion to garlic was because of the sulfur content, which could lead to an attack of the porphyria. And so they stayed away from the garlic for that reason. And
That's
it led to acute pain. The reflections in the mirror, mythology, obviously with vampirism, you can't see your reflection, but with the disfigurement of the prolonged attacks and whatnot, the poor oxygen could lead to the destruction of your facial tissue and the collapse of your facial structure.
So you quite literally
patients
lose face.
Yeah, and so they tend to stay away from a mirror anyways.
Yeah.
They don't want to see it.
So yet again,
And
it's a metaphor trying to describe something with deeper meaning.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, and then the crucifix is the last one. But the crucifix says because vampires were reportedly burned at stakes, so some accused vampires were innocently suffered for porphyria. So people would get burned at the stake thinking that they were vampires when they actually did have this blood disease. So they feared Christians and any Christian faith symbols, hence the crucifix in 1478 through 1834. 600 quote-unquote vampires were burned at stake.
Wow. What was that guy locally that has the museum? And there is a whole exhibit I remember seeing. Yeah, there's a museum near us within, I don't know, like a 20-minute drive.
For real? How do I not know this, bro?
Half hour? I don't know.
What?
Or no, not from here. I'm sorry. From me, anyway.
Well, DMA, dude, fucking tell me. What? How do I not know this?
In the Mercer Museum, there used to be a whole exhibit there. I haven't been there in a long time, but there's a whole case there where it's all vampire hunting equipment.
I feel like I would have seen this. Maybe I was there when they didn't have
right
it on
down in the
display.
lobby, like right where you pay your
Yeah, maybe it was
your voluntary donation.
Maybe it was not on display at that point in time. It's possible, you know what I mean? No, I did not. I'm gonna have to go back. Yo, that sounds pretty cool.
Like, I mean, it must have been somewhat of a thing, whether it was just locally or, I mean.
Well, bro, think about this, right? Like, no internet and all this stuff. Back in the day, you don't even have telephones or anything. You're literally purveying your land, like keeping yourself safe. You don't know what's out in them woods. Maybe it is a vampire or a werewolf.
It wouldn't even be out in the woods. It'd probably be that rich fellow that just moved in on the hill.
Maybe, who knows?
Like, I mean.
It's temporarily closed.
Yeah, what's behind the bush?
Vampire and Paranormal Museum in Lambertville, New Jersey.
Lambertville. That's my own stomping grounds. I used to raise ruckus back there, man, bro. Remember them days? Wow.
Yeah.
That was a while ago, man.
Campfires and drum circles, man.
We did way more than that. At least I did. Dude, I got into so much trouble. I mean.
We did? What'd you do?
Well, I mean, I never really got in trouble. I did stuff that could have got me in trouble, I should say, I guess. I don't know. I didn't get caught too much for long.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Dude, I'll be honest, man. Yeah, you were always like a really good kid, like for real.
Oh, I mean, I did things that were maybe, I could have gotten in trouble for, but I mean.
But you never really did anything that was like morally incorrect.
No.
You've always been
I never wanted to hurt nobody.
You've always been just a very peaceful, loving dude, like for real.
If I ever did, it was by accident, like through something I said or an unintentional act. Never that, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you that respect, man. You've always been a very peaceful, loving dude, and I appreciate that about you for sure.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I don't know. That's what keeps you and I very much, I think, grounded and connected. Because we were both very.
Because if I wanted to stab you in the neck half the time, then it wouldn't be very fun talking to me, right?
Well, I mean, it would make
it might be interesting.
Let's say it made great TV, probably. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be a part of that relationship. That's for sure. Yeah,
that'd be very stressful, I think.
But yeah, no, I think that's something that very much keeps you and I very grounded and connected is the fact that we both are just like
don't have to have plexi between us.
We all can get along. Like it is this easy to have these conversations and enjoy one another. Because you and I have not always agreed on everything, but we've never been at each other's throats about anything. Like, I've never wanted to physically harm you for anything. Like, I don't know.
It's just that I want to punch you, but I don't.
I do want to slap you.
I feel like I should be punching you, but I don't want to.
No, there's definitely times where I want to slap you. But that's how I get down. So that's not a you thing so much as it is. It's me, not you. I want to slap you.
I'm so sorry. It wasn't you. It was me.
It's like the thing where it's like you needed to laugh right now, which you didn't know it, so I laughed for you. Yeah, I lightly slapped you.
No. You hit me.
I didn't, it was, I kind of just.
I've had it up to here with your crap, Ferris. Oh, and that was what I tried saying in the beginning. See that? Full circle. It's so weird.
I think that was on the other show. I think
that's even more false. That's a big circle.
I mean, if everybody, if they pay attention and know the first show to the show before the show, then they would know that in the green room, they would have heard that. And then
if I was a fan.
I mean, I know I listen to us, but I mean, I have to because I put everything together.
That's really not narcissistic in the least.
Well, I have to double check audio and no, really for real. I have to double check. Yeah, I got to make sure it's ready so that when it goes out, everything airs correctly.
You're trying to recall content or Yeah.
Yeah, man, for any and all of that stress. So
Quality
it's like,
control.
yeah, dude, we don't have a staff here. It's us. So unfortunately, somebody does have to actually listen to everything and like as we repost stuff and make sure production's right. And it's like, yeah, dude. So I literally have to re-listen to us. I think we're funny though.
Again. Oh, baby,
Well,
can't you
because
see
we've
what I'm
talked
trying
about
to
that
say?
before, where we've re-listened to other episodes because it was just like it was such a great conversation, whether it was hilarious or there was such a depth or odd knowledge to it that it was just like it continuously drew us in. And I mean,
I'd like to say I got a bit of character now and then. I don't know.
I love it.
We play off each other like there's, you know,
I think
there's certain things that you could bring up that you know.
Well, so I think this is a true attest to like why you can tell how organic what we do is. Like this is all live. We record this, no editing. Like this is what it is, and because of the fact that it gets this representation in that form, it kind of just says like, yeah, dude, like there's no other way to get that outcome. It has to be done this fashion. So it's like, I don't know.
You can't. I mean, yeah, I don't think you could fake something like this.
That's what you can't write this. There's no there's no scripting. But like now we're going to talk about worms. Be like, oh, worms. So, oh, did you know that there are red worms? Because those.
That's why I like the idea of just keep bringing on different guests and stuff, because it's interesting to see how we play off that other character that brings their whole new, you know, their nuance to it. You know what I mean? And then I think that's a much easier way to keep things fresh, that we kind of have our.
Well, so I remember when you were talking about when you went on vacation that time and you were kind of trying, you yourself really fell into the understanding of what it is that we do in having those kind of conversations with these people that you had met. And you're like, you know, it really brought it around where you've kind of been trying to figure, it's like, how do we explain how we do this? Like this is what we're doing. Like what you and me are doing is what we do on the show.
That's it.
It's like, how do you explain that? And you really started to get into that general sense of just like, we have these open, organic conversations just as we would as two strangers as we are now. We do, but it's just a continuous one because we've had 30 years to do it.
I mean, you ever done that? I mean, I know I've done that before, like, especially if I'm somewhere by myself and I hear like a couple of dudes or something, or like just a couple of people at a table next to me will be talking about something, and it's something very, whether it's pop culture or whether it's something, you know, knowledge-based or whatever it is, that if it happens to get your attention, sometimes you'll actually interject and go, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I was eavesdropping just because, you know, that's what I do. I overheard though.
But that thing where you're just, it's like shaving a haircut. Like you have to jump in and say something.
Oh, you're at the grocery store, you're in line at the bank, or,
like, that's just what I feel like what we're really trying to recreate is that feeling that like you want to, like you're at the other end of the table with us with a beer and you want to interject something.
You're sitting at the park bench watching your kids play at the playground.
You're talking at the speaker right now, which is, I love that visual.
Well, because we had, our dude Vic came on, where he was like, you know, I finally realize as I'm talking out loud, I'm not in the room with you. I'm over here playing video games, listening, and you can't hear me. So
like getting mad at it because we messed up somebody's name or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was. I said Uncle Jesse and it's Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, which we did rectify, and he was just, that was that connection that he had. Where I was just like, I get that, bro. I totally get that.
But at the same time, you're like, I love that. See, but I love that because it was like, it's almost like you want to be wrong now and then, because then at least it's gonna. Are you on your toes? Are you gonna call me on it? Are you gonna, you know?
Well, and that's why I'm saying, like, so like you going on vacation and having that in front raw right then and there, like there's just, you can't write that. There's no fact checker, even though we have it, but still that's the honest emotion behind that connection. It can happen anytime, anywhere, with any people about anything. And that's what's beautiful. And we should all be doing this, especially with the people that we love and see on a regular basis.
I thought you were making some kind of comment about just the way I am in general. That like I have a tendency to gravitate towards like the strangest.
You're like an adorable little Labrador. You're just like running around looking for attention. Is that what?
I don't want to say like strange people, because they're not strange. They're people that think like me, but I just always think I'm strange. So I don't know.
Well, the fact that I think you're
people who view things with an open mind.
Well, yeah, and that's the fact that you come in with it in that sense. You're going to attract that. So that when you feel the urge to reach out verbally, it's reciprocated because they're probably feeling it too, because they're very like-minded in that sense. You know, a like attracts a like, so you would have that relative connection. I mean, I agree. I think so.
It's funny too, because I'll feel like I remember during that same thing that you're talking about, that week vacation that I went on, that the one night this couple came up, and that was where I said I talked to a doctor, but she wasn't like a medical doctor. She was like some kind of.
I'm a chiropractor. I'd be like, you're a chiropractor. Shut up. So like, what?
Yeah, it was something. Medical school. I think it was something like that.
You're like, I'm an orthodontist. You're not a doctor.
But that she did her.
We're going to save my.
Like a PhD.
Yeah, that she did her research and this and that, and like she wasn't just accepting everything at face value, which I thought was really cool, but. They ended up jumping into a conversation, and there was a couple things that they said that I really agreed with, things in, current event type stuff like that. And we just kind of hit it off. But it's just, it's funny because like the situationally, like you can see all these different like, relationships and energy transferences going on. Like if to break it down into its finest role, but like, I see this couple come up, and they're obviously a married couple. They've been out at the bar after probably being out with the kids all day. They've now had a couple drinks. The wife's really chatty. He just wants to go to bed. But at the same time, like she's joining in the conversation. He knows he has no control over this at this point. So there's always like different, you know what I'm saying? There's like all these different things going on at once because we've already been in a conversation. There's already like 5 or 6 people standing around having another conversation, and these guys are now jumping into it.
Yeah, welcome to the party, pal.
So now he starts shooting off comments to make sure we're on the same footing in a way. So he's kind of testing the waters, and it was just funny. It was funny to watch the whole interchange. And remember, you can call that intercourse, actually.
You dirty boy.
We were having group verbal intercourse.
Yeah, you were.
And it was very delightful.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants a mustache ride? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, Mishka, what if you don't want to turn into pumpkins? Oh, but I don't want to go. Yeah, I love that scene. Oh. Dude, when they
yes, it was an orgy of verbal intercourse.
I love your vernacular at the moment. Your word things are dope at the moment.
My word things,
yeah,
because we talks and stuff.
Oh, dude, that was awesome. I so appreciate you, right? And for the fact that you made me think of like Super Troopers, so you know what I mean. Like that's pretty cool.
That's good too.
Yeah, especially like when they're what is it when they pull over the brown Porsche. And she's just like, oh, perhaps some light cuffing and sponking is in order. And he's just like, oh, my God. And then the freaking authority comes back, and he's just like, any other time I'd step in and show you how to swing right now. He's like, but the car's stolen. We got to take him in. It's like, oh. That movie is so great.
And then something else happened. They're like, all right, well, I got to go back to my place. Who wants to come with me? Oh, I do.
No. You don't even.
You don't even see that part. Never mind.
Correct. What happens is you
see the after effects.
Well, because him and his wife in their open relationship are having a conversation about him being a part of the police department or moving on, or because they're supposed to be closing down his branch or whatever. So they're having this honest conversation. And he references somebody in a bedroom or another room where he's like, hey, could you stop jumping on the bed? So you get the idea that they're talking to their kids And then all of a sudden you go inside the room and it's the Austrian or German couple or whatever that they had arrested earlier in the stolen brown Porsche. And it's just like they're having a little four-way action going on. And that's when he's like, he's like, we really should be getting back to the jail. It's like, it's like, it's getting late or whatever. And he's like, oh, no, Mishka, but I don't want to go yet. He's like, oh, yeah, you don't want us to turn into pumpkins. And he's just like, ugh. And with the wife or whatever, it's just like, can't they just stay a little longer? He's like, oh, who wants a mustache ride? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, me too. Yeah. And it's like, that just got really weird.
So many good.
Dude, that movie has so many great things in it.
So many great things.
So many great ideas.
What's the name of that place we used to go to? I'll stitch the shit on the walls.
Yeah, no, they had. What was it? They had all the goofy the cables on the candles on the table and the goofy shit on the walls or whatever, right?
Is that what it was?
What? No. What is it? Oh, damn it! Now I can't because
now you just messed it all up.
No, I just mixed Fast and the Furious with freaking that one.
See, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't mix continental.
You can't do that.
But you can, however, bring it back around again with that one. That was pretty good. Oh my god.
We were just talking about that one the other day.
Yeah, no. With all the mozzarella sticks and all the goofy shit on the walls.
That's what it was.
That what it is? Yeah. Oh, what you mean shenanigans? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. Fast and Furious. It was the place with the candles and I mixed those. That was
yeah.
I put the incorrect emphasis on the improper syllable.
I was gonna say I don't remember that from that movie.
Yeah, no. That was because that was the scene where then Mia decides that Paul Walker's character is going to take her out to dinner at this restaurant called Cha Cha's or whatever, where Homeboy was going to take him. And she was just like, I'm going to let him take me now instead of you. So that's, I made that. That's where I foxed the wrong way. It happens. Sorry.
It does. And
hey, man, green room happens and then we do this and it's like, just saying. We keep it live.
It's all train of
keep
thought.
It real.
Because, see, I don't even know what's going on right now, but that's the beauty of it.
Well, I mean, I'm drinking your porter, so, I mean, that's what's happening.
You seem to be enjoying it, too. That's good.
Yeah, especially for a porter, because, I mean, I'm not really big on porters, but yours is very light and balanced, so it's got plenty of body and depth and tone and color, but it's also not overbearing in anything. So, I mean, for me, I'm very much about, I want balance in whatever I'm doing, food, drink, whatever. If I'm putting it into my mouth, I want it to taste good everywhere. I don't want to be like, well, I kind of enjoyed that and this and like, that's not like, oh, wow. So if I'm going to drink it and enjoy it, so yeah, I want something that's very much in this capacity. So,
but I don't know if I call it spicy, but it definitely, it may have mellowed since then now too, but I'm just saying.
No, there's still almost that little bit of like acidic, bitter bite to it that just gives it enough pop.
But the kick from the vanilla and the cinnamon in particular,
it's all very mellowed in that sense where they've blended together very well. I mean, nothing's overpowering, and nothing's really just kind of like hanging out at the bottom, just kind of like, oh, what
pretty good too.
What about me? Nothing's really hiding either. So
this is an Irish red.
I think so. Irish red ale.
About me.
Don't you talk? Hey, sorry.
It's called Ancient Water.
You getting fresh? What is this? This is being recorded for posterity. Watch what you say. There's a lady in the room.
But this has got some interesting malty notes to it. I like it.
Jeez, malty nuts?
Malty notes. Did you say salty nuts? What?
I'm being assaulted over here.
What's going on?
I got assaulted nuts.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to put those away. There's children over there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I never.
Dude, could you imagine doing 2 hours of this every day? Like, let's be honest about this. Would you want to talk to me with her, making sure that we stay on point for 2 hours a day?
2 hours a day.
2 hours.
And what would I get paid
If
for
we
doing
get to
this?
laugh,
Why you gotta get what do you need to get? Do fucking high fives, just like she is.
I just want to know.
Be high fives, bro. Don't even.
All right. We won't even talk about that.
Is that not good enough? You get to spend time with me, your best friend, somebody who's been with you for 3 decades. You don't love me enough that you don't want to do this?
I got a whole family at home I got to love.
Well, you can get a job. Why does that got to do with this?
Well, how am I going to be busy every day?
It's 2 hours, bro.
It's just 2 hours, but
2
every
hours.
day.
Well, I mean, one to start, and then we'll build to like.
I'm like, you lucky you got 1 day a week right now, bro.
Ouch.
I'm just saying,
I'm not feeling the love right. I always give my love to him.
I got I got 2 young ones and a wife. I mean, I got families and stuff.
But so what you're saying though is you don't have 2 hours for me.
See, no, that's
what I heard.
I will agree that that's what you're hearing. Yes. Yet again, to bring it full circle.
But wouldn't you really want to do this though? Like, think about it. Like, so say, all right, you get your paycheck. Oh, okay, great. Now you're getting.
It doesn't even have to be that much.
But that's what I'm saying. So now,
worthwhile.
Financially, we're worth your time. You like. So, anyways, you're now financially compensated to a level that you feel comfortable. Do you really want to do this? Is this what you want?
I would, and if I found a way to make a better service out of it, does that make any a better service? I just want to.
What is this? Like, we're in a back alley right now. I got 5 for 20 minutes. Like, oh my god, no!
That gets you a penguin, sir.
A penguin. I don't know where this is coming from, but I like the penguin. Dude, that's some Mary Poppins stuff right there. I love me a penguin. Back alley penguin. You got $5 on that back alley penguin.
This is the thing. You can't write this. I don't even know where this is going right now.
I don't even know where it came from other than left field and Albuquerque.
I don't even know where I am.
It came from the left field of Albuquerque.
What's my name?
Say my name. Say my name. I can't. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's.
Are we?
Well, we're we're rounding the corner. Yeah, Bugs Bunny on third base.
Well, no, what's going to happen is we're going to ramp up and get really interesting, and then we're going to have to go.
Well, that's in about like 10 minutes. Like literally like not so much here or here. But like right here.
But literally like right when you have to hit the button to shut it off.
Pretty much. That's
it's been real.
Which this is all right. So this goes back to
when
the
you
whole
add the quantum physics of the flux capacitor
with the correlation, of the combination of the
we gotta go. Sorry.
Which again, going back to the whole thing, like you can't write this, right? Like we can't program this. There's no agenda. There's no listing of time frame to do this. It cracks me up how consistently we get to the very close where you're just like, well, that's a great point. However, we literally have to wrap this up because otherwise we would just get cut off and it would just then everybody would be kind of sad. But how many of those conversations have we actually gotten back to though? Like that's what I'm curious about. Somebody needs to go back and check this out.
Join us next week when we talk about
See, this is
transgender zombies and
transgender zombies. I love it. Like, why can't we have an episode just about that? This sounds great to me. I think there's a lot of theoretical ideas we can get into on this. There's many places of which we can come from this.
Mental interstellar travel.
That sounds like teleportation on a mental aspect, man. That's mental telepathy. Mental teleportation.
Throwing this out there, but if there happen to be any transgender zombies out there, please reach out.
ITY at
have you as a guest?
We want to have this conversation.
Just make sure you've been tested and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah, no, we need a current medical. We need the clearance.
It's a zombie. Who cares?
I don't you can chain it to the wall, but it's not a good time. Just saying. It's a lot of that. Nobody really
Do you
wants
mind
that.
wearing a muzzle? It's
You wearing a
it's
muzzle
just for 2
Can we
hours.
just for a muzzle? Can you do this?
It's for insurance purposes.
We're gonna write that down. need to get this in writing.
We can't have you biting around it. Just nibble on people.
Just can't going around all like nimbly bimbly like nibbling on people. This is not something we do.
We have craft services. We don't need
Would you like tea?
Would you like some tea? Ooh, that sounds lovely.
We need to, t-shirt. T-shirt. We got to do, which I was saying.
T-shirt.
Dude, did you see what he did there? A t-shirt.
T-shirt.
T-E-A, not T-E-E. Oh, that dude, give me a better than, there you go.
Yes, please.
I will say yes to a t-shirt every time. That T I can agree to. But I was also thinking, so there's remember the MTV Raps logo, like the MTV Raps? Have it just be like the yo, and then on the back just say I'm telling you. Because I mean, how many times does that happen?
Would you have like the ITY like in the old like M style?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't
like in the pastel color.
I hadn't thought about that.
This is lettery.
This is why, dude. This is what I love about her. She not only does she bring the knowledge, but she also writes stuff down.
Or it'd be like big I and then TY.
I'm just saying, dude. Talk to the marketing department on that.
Somehow make it look like,
I'm just saying. Dude, that just got me to the thing where he like blows his nose and he's just like, "Oh look, I made an MTV logo. You want to see it?" Well, I didn't want to show you anyways. The freaking fry cook in the back.
Or maybe the Y would be really big and it would just say IT.
Well, I also, every time I think of ITY, I also think of like you and ITY. But, I grew up like listening to rap as it was coming to fruition.
Yeah.
It was being birthed at the same time I was.
You were being birthed.
Yeah.
Oh.
What happened?
I just had a good idea.
You have always good ideas, so you didn't just have a one. Like, you've had many. Let's just be honest.
Well, I have to figure out the why, but like, what about for ITY? It would be like an actual like I, and then for the T, it would be like a tea kettle or a cup of tea, and then the Y, we just have to figure out what it is, but like have those three symbols signify ITY.
Dude, what was the game show back in the day where you had to like, I think it was like Connection or something, where you had to make matches, or maybe it was called Match. You had to make the matches with the cards, and then they like showed the picture where it was like that, where it's like like
a hieroglyph.
Hieroglyph. There you go. Yeah. I'm like holographic. No, that's not right. That isn't sort of.
It's totally not right.
Yeah, like hieroglyphic, where it's like I, and then like a cup of tea, and then Which, I mean, for us, I think that's hilarious because, again, it's like, would you like some tea?
Well, I thought we were talking just the tea consent T-shirt.
Well, but that's
idea. I think that's awesome.
That's what she's bringing it to, like, she's putting a whole new twist on it.
How do we do our thing with it? Yeah.
But again, that's like, there's so many funny things we do.
I need to work on this whole logo thing.
We are just one continuous bumper sticker away from being another T-shirt where it's like, I went to blah, 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 and all I got was this stinking shirt. Like that's probably even a shirt. It's like, I went and saw ITY like live, and all I got was this stinking T-shirt. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Or you can confuse people, and you could put like,
I'm pretty sure we already confuse people.
Oh, no. Guess this one. Do an I... And then, all right, so capital I, space, TEA, space, WHY.
Again, we're just one like ironic bumper sticker away from being a horrible T-shirt. This is why we need to do this.
Like a big eyeball, like the Eye of Ra, and like a cup of tea.
Now you're talking like Illuminati stuff. This is kind of scary. What's on the back of a $20 bill? I don't know.
Red team go.
Red team go.
I don't know. All great ideas.
I'm just saying there's a lot of potential here.
All good things.
All good things.
All good things.
Yeah, like, Rage, Mr. Cheezel. Just, like, yeah, like you were saying with the Dolphins. Rage on. Rage on. Dude, I love me some Kevin Nealon. Dude, I love that guy.
All good things.
Dude, I think I enjoyed the show Weeds as much as I did because the content and the writing was great, but just his character
alone, just
like, well, he was like
whenever he's on set,
he was
on
like
the, on the,
yeah, he was like Opie in freaking
yeah,
right, or freaking Jack from Three's Company, or like he was just like, or like not Mr. Furley from Three's Company, like he was just that weird interjection of comedy where you're just like, all right, okay. That's funny.
good times. Oh, sorry.
Hanging out for good times. Keeping your head above water. Yeah.
Sorry.
Making the way that you can. Temporary layoffs. Come on. Easy credit ripoffs. Oh my God. Where's Dave Chappelle when you need him? Lucky we got him.
Sorry.
Every time
I think it's getting late. I'm just getting super
every time I'm just sorry. Every time I hear that, that's all I ever think about is the Dave Chappelle show where it's like, what was that called? Oh God, what, something about a black person. Like what would a black person say, or what does a black person know?
Oh yes, his game show.
Yeah, where he's like he asks all the different questions, and it's like oh God, what do
you call it? A single Newport. Lucy.
That's a Lucy. Yeah, but his the one guy I think was like one of the producers or writers or whatever was like super white Moby looking dude, like almost like Afraid of the Sun, pale white kid, like Irish red freckled, like you know what I mean? Like he's looking like the whitest of the white, and he actually like answered all of the questions pretty much, and he was the one that actually knew the lines for Good Times where nobody else knew it.
Oh, was that surprising for you? Racist.
No, I just thought that was very ironic and hilarious that it's like the whitest guy in the room actually knows it, but it's because he's very inquisitive and took the time to like, because he's like, I often wondered this myself. So he's like, and he actually like looked it up and yeah, I thought that was quite hilarious. Which I think that was his partner Neil or whatever. Might have been. I don't know. You have to check me on this, but yeah, no, we
as usual.
I know, right? Let's get into an in-depth conversation about Dave Chappelle and how he does. No, we gotta go. And
so join us next week. When
same bad channel, same bad time.
What did I say when we talk about? Transvestite zombies.
No,
something like that.
No,
cross-dressing zombies.
Now it's cross.
I don't know where it's going. See, that's the beauty of it.
You said transgender. Well, we're going to be all included.
Yes.
We don't care what zombie you identify as. We accept you for whatever zombie you are.
You know what I'm saying? That's the world we live in. I mean, it's you got to be all accepting.
If you are a transgender zombie or a transvestite zombie,
hey, if you're a straight zombie, I mean, whatever.
Again, we want to hear from you. Reach out to us at ITY@directionsinmusic.org. Or Gemini at GEMINI
at directionsinmusic.org
or PHILLYD at directionsinmusic.org. But yeah, no, this is I'm telling you with Philly D,
Mr. Gemini,
Miss JD.
Yeah, no, as always, fam, be good to yourself, be good to everyone else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.